Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is Take Steps and Kick IBD. You're probably wondering, if you're not aware, what is Take Steps? What is IBD? We are going to be discussing that today. In 1991, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and it took me on a path I never, ever could have imagined, from being humiliated, filled with shame, and living in dread for most of my life, to being able to overcome all of the adversity and to take all of that pain and put it into something positive, which is giving back and helping other people. I found the CROHN'S and COLITIS Foundation. They were introduced to me, the most amazing people who are really heart-centric, and they are doing such important work to help change the lives of people all over the world. As a board member and also support group facilitator, I meet with many people, one of whom is here today to join us. I want to first say hello to Justin MIRIGLIANI, my co-host, who is on holiday today and not able to be with us. But we have a gentleman backstage who is diagnosed with Crohn's disease at the age of 5. Can you imagine? And he's been in remission for 5 years. His name is Mark Washington, and he's here to join us and tell us a little bit about his story. Welcome, Mark.
Hello, I'm happy to be here.
I'm so thrilled that you are here. And as I mentioned, we met through a support group meeting, which it ended up, it was the two of us, which sometimes is even the best because you get to really talk through some things. And I was really impressed with your interest in getting involved in the foundation. You were familiar with the foundation already. So let's start your story. As far back as you can remember, you were diagnosed at age of 5. When do you remember not feeling well?
I like you mentioned, it's hard to remember because I was at such a young age. I was forming some of my first memories in the world at that point. So, but the earliest memory I have is when I was sitting at the dining room table and my mom made one of my favorite meals. It's fried chicken, collard greens, sweet potatoes, and I just looked at the plate and I physically felt sick. I couldn't eat it. I couldn't look at it. Couldn't touch it. And I ran to the bathroom, and it was in those early moments where I just kept going to the bathroom, and I couldn't eat. I wasn't hungry, and my mom actually took me to the hospital, and I got multiple tests ran on me, and that was at that moment where okay, we knew this was serious. This was something that I had to be addressed.
Thank you so much for your transparency. And for people who don't know, it's not that easy coming forward and talking about these types of things for the whole world. And I explained to Mark that this is out there forever. It's in the public domain. So again, thank you so much for being so brave and so strong. So you weren't feeling well and something had to take place. And it seems that more and more younger people are being diagnosed. And of course, neither one of us is a medical doctor, so we can't really speak to it. But what was your understanding of the diagnosis of Crohn's disease?
Well, first and foremost, to your point about how younger people are getting diagnosed with it, I think this is something that people have had for years at that age of 5 and 6 and 7 years old. But a lot of times, y- as parents or as adults, you don't really see it and think anything of it. Um, Luckily, my mom has had a family member who actually had Crohn's disease, and so she ended up reaching out to my grandmom and reaching out to my uncle, and we found out that my cousin had it. So I was able to go to the doctor, and my mom was able to tell the doctor, "Hey, do you think that it's maybe this?" And when she told the doctor that, the doctor ran some more tests, consulted with some of the nurses and some of the other medical professionals, and they were able to come to the conclusion that it was actually Crohn's disease. So uh, that's what my early memories are of when I was diagnosed and how I was lucky enough to have, well, not lucky enough, but to have a family member who did have it at that time.
Thank you, Mark. And I shared earlier that when I got my diagnosis, I was just, I thought no one would ever love me. And I was just filled with shame and dread. Yesterday, I went in to get something at a smoothie, and the woman who was waiting on me, she asked if I had any restrictions. I said no nuts and no flaxseed. I need a colonoscopy very soon. And she said, I was just told that I need a colonoscopy. And she's just in high school. And my heart just sank because I thought, until we come up with a cure, she's going to be living with that for the rest of her life. So, were you overwhelmed? Were you terrified? How did you feel? I don't want to put words into your mouth. Were you thinking this is a lifelong thing you're going to have to deal with?
Um, yeah, I mean, at the time, I didn't understand the magnitude of what I was going through, and there was a lot of emotions uh, along the lines of I just wanted to play. I just wanted to play with my toys. I just wanted to play, go to school and play with my friends. I just wanted to, be a normal kid, and I didn't have the energy to do so. I was tired all the time. I had dropped down to 29 pounds at that point, and there was a lot of fear towards, is this going to be what the rest of my life looks like? Is this going to be, normal, my new normal? And so there was a lot mentally that I had to overcome at that time. And I was only a 5-year-old kid. So um, I think you hit it right on the head. There was a lot of fear, there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of anxiety towards it. And I was just trying to navigate the world that I was living in.
Thank you, Mark. And I want our audience to imagine, if you're familiar with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, just imagine a 5-year-old child surrounded by other 5-year-olds. And I'm not saying this was your situation, Mark, but running to the bathroom constantly. Everyone's out playing. You're running to the bathroom. You're running. You may make it. You may not make it. You're in horrible pain. There are all kinds of things that can go along with these diseases. But what's clear is that something's happening that isn't happening to the other people. And of course, what can come from that? Bullying, isolation, all kinds of things. A very difficult path to go on. So, what was the first thing that happened when you were put on a treatment plan? Do you remember?
Um, so the first treatment plan that I specifically remember was this big orange pill. Its official name is called balsasalazide. Um, and I remember looking at that, and I was like, "This thing is bigger than my pinky. I don't know how I'm supposed to, eventually swallow this thing." And so I didn't have a proper training on, swallowing pills. I would always throw them up, so I had to crush them up, put them in yogurt, eat that. I had to crush it up, put it in pudding, eat that. And so my treatment plan was a little bit different than what a normal adult's treatment plan would be, because I didn't have the time to learn how to swallow, a Tic Tac, and then swallow a smaller pill, and then slowly get more comfortable with how to you know take medication. Um, After the Salazide, it didn't really work. I was then transitioned over to Pentasa, which is a big blue pill, and when you open that, there's little pellets in there that get everywhere. And so I put that in my pudding, I put it in my yogurt, I put it in my oatmeal for breakfast. Um, it kind of worked. It wasn't as effective as the medications that they have out nowadays. But those were the early treatment plans that I was put on, just to start fighting, the inflammation that was building up inside of me.
And what were the results of that treatment plan?
Nothing at all. I mean, it was incredible how, you know, they had me on so many different things. Metronidazole, Pentasa, they had me on iron, they had me on um little vitamins. I was taking all these different things, but I didn't have energy. I didn't have, you know, the ability to calm that stomach pain down. I was still going to the bathroom 3 to 5 to 6 times a day, and, they weren't really effective at all.
And unfortunately, I have had the same experience, and I speak to patients all the time that the medications last for a certain period of time and then you switch to something else. And one thing I want our audience to realize is that not only as patients are we dealing with the physical side of it, we're dealing with the emotional side of it. We're dealing with pain. When you're in pain like that, it really gets to you. I remember being in corporate in meetings and literally gripping onto the conference room table because the pain was so bad and I couldn't get up and run to make it because I knew I wouldn't make it. And yet you're trying to act like everything's normal. Can you recall a time when you just had to pull the strength from within or from universe or God or source or whatever it is you believe to help you move forward?
Um, I think a moment in time where I look back and, uh, I really, I wonder how I got through it is, when I was a little bit older and I was in middle school, and this is a little bit graphic, but bear with me. But the way my school was set up, where I was at and taking classes at was incredibly far from where the nurse's office was. And so I'm sitting in class, and I'll never forget this. The level of pain, just like you described, just shot through me. And I felt paralyzed. I had to like bend over and, just to try to just massage the pain out. And so I'm walking to the bathroom, and I'd make it. And so I go to sit down, and there's complications, and I don't end up, you know, making it. So then I'm standing there, I'm 11 years old, 12 years old, and I know how far the nurse's office is. I know I'm in writhing pain right now. I know that there's a great chance I'm going to walk past multiple people, some I may know. And so I probably sat in that bathroom and cried for a good 5 minutes before I mustered up the strength to start that journey. But I eventually, opened the bathroom door. I look left, I look right, and I make my way to the nurse's office, and I get there, and I did end up walking past a bunch of different people. Luckily, they're people I didn't know. So I get changed, and y- the, I finish out the day. But it was it's moments like those where you stop and you really reflect, and you're like, wow, like why do I have to go through this? Why is this so hard? Like why can't I just be a normal kid in class learning, um and not in this pain? So that's a moment where I really reflect on it, and it's like it's a big hurdle for me.
And again, it's not easy to share those things. I'm shaking my head going, yes, I have been there. I was just there 6 months ago. And but that wasn't being a 5-year-old, that was being a 59-year-old woman and just contemplating how can this still be going on. But yet
Yeah.
we are here to inspire people. We want people to know what the truth is, what the reality is. When did you feel like your life was turning around and you were going towards remission?
So when I was uh, 9 years old, I was moved to Children's Hospital. From the ages of 9 to 18 is when I was exposed to modern medicines and some of the best care that I had received in my up to that point. Um, and a doctor by the name of Ritu Verma uh, prescribed me with a new drug called Humira, and at the time it was uh, uh, brand new. It just came out of testing, and so I was put on that. And throughout high school is the time where I really was beginning to, turn that corner. I had found a rhythm where instead of going to lunch and not really eating the food because I didn't have an appetite, I would go to the nurse's office and I would pump through my G tube. I have a G tube in my stomach. And that would give me the proper nutrients and the proper energy to finish out my day. And at the time I played basketball, I would go play basketball after school and then go home. So I was beginning to find a routine and find a way to get through, the day. And eventually, Humira stopped working, just like the previous medications, and I was transitioned over to an amazing doctor by the name of Dr. Nandi, who I'm with now to this day. And he prescribed me a medication called Stelara. And so now I took everything that I had learned over the past 13 years, everything about when to eat, how to eat, if I should eat this or should eat that, um, working out, you know, all these things that I've learned on how to manage my care. And when I got Stelara, it was just like I took off. My body reacted very well to it. And I've been in remission for about 5 years since then. So that's when I really knew, my life is turning around is when I found a ritual and a way to manage the care.
Woo! And by
Thanks.
the way, let's just have a shout out to Dr. Neil Nandi, who is an amazing human being. I mean, I'm all choked up even talking about him, but he is on the board of the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, as am I, and he brings so much value. He works tirelessly, not only in the hospital, he's at University of Pennsylvania, but he is constantly reaching out to people and just providing support and letting people know that they're not alone. So Dr. Nandi, if you're out there, hello. He's amazing. By the way, we do have a comment from our friends in Uganda, Push Child Foundation Uganda. Thanks for the show. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Mark, we are going to both be attending the Take Steps walk that's occurring. I have the flyer right here, June 25th, Journey to Mount Remission. And you have a team. We actually have a banner here, which we were showing. Your team is MCW Warriors. Why is it that you're involved with this event? What does it mean to you?
It means everything to me. Just to have a place where I'm accepted and understood. Um, for years, I didn't have that place. I didn't have people to go to and talk to about what I was going through. And before the pandemic, I had attended, I believe it was 2 to 3 years in a row, the Take Steps event. And um, it was just nice to walk around and see the different teams and the different organizations. Um, so that's why it means so much to me to get back to it. I can't wait to go this year. It's going to be really, amazing. Trying to bring out as many people as possible. So um, I'm not sure all who's watching this, but definitely hit that link and, donate, join my team. And I would love to have you out there because it's going to be a wonderful event for sure.
Mark, for someone who's not familiar with it, and I'm going to describe the event, but how would you describe the event to someone who's never heard of it before?
It's a day where it's peaceful. You walk around, there's vendors set up everywhere. you can start a conversation with almost anybody. And when you start that conversation, what makes it so peaceful is that you know they understand you. And if you're a family member of a patient and you talk to another family member of a patient, they'll understand each other. And if you're a patient and you talk to another patient, you'll understand each other. So everybody is connected to a common cause, and it's such a beautiful thing to see that I definitely can't wait to see this year how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much how how it goes.
Thank you very much. And the event is taking place at Lincoln Financial Field. It's on June 25th. Registration starts at 10 a.m. and the actual event starts at 11. And we'll be broadcasting live from there, USA Global TV and radio. So we hope people will stop by the booth and tell us their story. What I'd really like us to talk about now is, and I hope you don't mind because you and I discussed this in the support group meeting, but I know for me, I'm still not in totally in remission. In fact, I went to my gastro on Monday and he said, I know you say you feel great and you look great, but that doesn't mean that you're well. That could easily mean that the medication is masking it and you need to get a colonoscopy on Monday. I have all my information right here for the surgery
Jeez.
center. And so the reason I bring it up is it's almost like you're never out of the woods. It's almost like you're constantly looking over your shoulder. Is today the day that I'm going to make a fool of myself in front of X number of people, maybe be crawling on the floor in agony? Have you felt like that, Mark?
Yeah, it's being in remission, is a different ball game than when you're in the fight and in the struggle. The looking over your shoulder brings another form of anxiety that is hard to explain, right? So, you know, any little pain or you eat the wrong thing or you have you go to the bathroom and it's different from a regular one. You constantly have these thoughts of, okay, is this the one? Like, am I in a flare up right now? Is this happening again? When you feel tired throughout the day, because that's one of the first symptoms or and signs of a flare. Is this a flare up? Oh, should I take something to fight this? You're constantly in your head about how you can be better and how you can, stay away from a flare up. That sometimes, you forget to live your life the way that it's meant to be lived. And although you're not in the hospital every day and you're not writhing in agony mentally, there's this constant thought of, is that day coming? Is it tomorrow? Is it, you know, the next day? And so I've really honed in on meditating and, grounding techniques and trying to really relax my mind and live in the moment and live in the present. And um, it's really helped me kind of stave off those thoughts. But you're absolutely right. That's something that is a huge struggle.
And again, I'm just in complete alignment with what you're saying. And during the course of my, I think, 33 years with this disease, many times people would say to me, this is your fault, right? You're a mental patient. You're stressed out. You're this, you're that. You bring it on yourself. If you ate differently, if you did this, and none of that is true. But yet people want to give their 2 cents to try to diagnose you, or don't go the route of medication. Try some holistic approach, which I actually listened to someone and ended up being sick for 2 years. So, what would you say to people who are out there giving this arbitrary information, thinking that they're under the guise of helping us, but in the meantime, it's really not helpful?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. It's the people who give that kind of advice oftentimes are the ones that are extremely close to you. And from the standpoint of genuinely caring about you and wanting you to be better, you understand that that's where they're coming from. They want you to be better. They just want you to be normal, right? And I've heard my fair share of comments of, oh, you're being lazy, or oh, you could be better than that, or oh, just eat this, or oh, why don't you do this? And for those people, I would say take the time to understand what the person is going through first. Ask the person questions. Ask the patient, what do you feel when you eat something that you shouldn't be eating? And 9 times out of 10, we will explain to them it is a pain like no other. And so to sit on the sidelines and not understand what it's like to play in the game, you can't critique what it's like to be in that battle and be in that fight. And I would just say, try to understand what it's like to be in that fight before you give that kind of advice.
So well put. Fantastic. You and I both know Dawn Halsey. We love you, Dawn, if you're out there. And the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, as I mentioned at the beginning, I think so much of them that I actually dedicated one of my books to them because I really
Oh,
feel like
wow.
they gave me a reason to live and to share my story. What interaction have you had with the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, Dawn, or any of the wonderful employees there?
Yeah, so Dawn is connected through my sister. My sister actually is the one that, you know, put me onto the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation and told me about the amazing things that they've been doing over the years. Um, I've I've known Dawn since back in, I believe that was 2014, 2015. We held an event, uh, a fundraiser, and it was a basketball tournament. And she came and we set up, banners, and we had about 4 teams participate, and it was at my school actually. And we had like a 3-point shootout. We had like a hot shot contest. It was a really fun time. And so she's been an integral part of my connection to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. And I look forward to seeing her at the event. And I really appreciate her constantly and being welcoming. And after the pandemic, I kind of took a step back because I was trying to find my footing in my personal life. But when I reached back out to her and set up a meeting with her, she welcomed me with open arms, and she was happy to see me, and she looks forward to working with me, in the future. So Dawn's always been amazing, and I look forward to seeing her at the event.
Yeah, Dawn is truly one of a kind, as is Emily and Lucille and Paul and so many of them. We have a comment from Renee Washington. So proud of you, Mark. I love this needed conversation.
Thanks for that.
Thank you, Renee. Thanks for watching and commenting. I feel like as we get closer to this event, which is June 25th, one thing I want people to realize is Mark's involved. He has a team. I have a team. There are a lot of people who are patients who have their own story, their own journey, but they're putting their effort into raising awareness, raising money to help find cures. And as Mark shared, he was on numerous medications, and thank goodness he's in remission now. I'm still finding my way. And hopefully
Yeah,
I'll find my way one day soon.
you'll
And
get there.
yes, and I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be where I am if this didn't happen to me. So I do have to share that I was in corporate till 2020, and I was sick so much. I was flying all over the world for my job, and one of my executives said, "Do you think you have the energy to keep doing this?" And I was really offended, but he was right. And I was so happy to work from home because the bathroom's right there. So now
Yeah.
I'm kind of like at the point, if I ever don't work from home, I don't know how I'm going to feel because I like having the security of knowing the bathroom's there. And for people who they don't understand, I'm just going to I'm going to make it a little bit graphic, but I can't speak for you. I'm just going to speak for me. But if I'm going to a restroom, it's not the same experience as someone who doesn't have these diseases. Okay. It's not going to sound the same. It's not going to smell the same. It's not going to be the same. And it's the kind of
Right.
thing where you just would like to be by yourself so that you don't have to deal with that that incredible embarrassment and humiliation. So together we are working to find cures so that people get into remission and they stay in remission. And the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, the work that they're doing, they work tirelessly to put together this event, the Take Steps Walk. It's a huge event. There'll be 3,000 plus people there, Mark.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a beautiful day too. Hope fingers crossed. So definitely come out, mark it off in your calendars. And I totally agree. It's not the same experience when you're going through this when you go to the bathroom. Um, there's so many things that people go through. That this fundraising is so important for these medications, and it's it's almost it's almost a disservice to what we go through on a day-to-day basis, um, to not want to support, because patients are constantly fighting. They're constantly looking for that next medication. Medications are constantly not working for them, and yeah, as patients, you just want to find the one that works for you. It doesn't matter what it is or where it comes from. You just want to find the one medication that works for you.
That is so true. It's so true. And I just happen to have here, and I just want you to imagine this. Okay, I take two medications and I have to literally walk into the pharmacy. I'm going to hide the name of this, but I have to pick up 6 boxes of this in a big brown bag. They're enemas. Okay, I have to walk through the store carrying
Oh,
these boxes
geez.
every time. And so the point is, please give each other grace. Please don't judge someone based on whatever it is that they're going through. If you don't understand it, do some research. But I think most importantly, get involved. Join Mark's team. We have this banner right here. You can join MCW Warriors. You can join and you can donate. And by the way, one thing I want to share with people is I hear this all the time. Number one, I can't donate enough. I don't have enough money. What is enough? We still don't have enough money. We're still, whatever you can donate is appreciated. And number two, people are asking, I don't really know that the money is going to the foundation. How do I know where the money's going? Well, there's actually an organization, a website that tracks how much of every dollar goes to research and development. So the Crohn's Colitis Foundation has one of the highest ratios. I don't know if it's 82 or 88 cents. I forget what it is out of every dollar. So it's obviously a very legitimate organization that continues to give back and give back. So we're doing our role, and we really would appreciate it for any of you out there if you would get involved, and please do join Mark's team. We have another comment from Curry, Washington. Bob, go Mark. Yay.
uh,
People love you out there. So,
yeah.
Mark, as we're coming towards the end of this show, I would love for you to look just into the camera. And for anyone out there who is struggling, they may have already gotten a diagnosis. They're not sure. They're too afraid. They don't know what to do. What can you share with them?
The first thing I would share is that as much as this is a physical battle, it's one up here, and there's a lot of cliches that go around that, but if you can manage your emotions and your stress levels through various activities like meditation, going on a walk, right? Finding a hobby that calms you down, it will help you tremendously in your fight physically. Because what happens is your brain tells you over and over in a feedback loop that you're sick. This is what's going to happen because you're sick. And because this thing happens, oh, you can't go to college and play basketball. You can't, hang out. Your friends won't like you. And your brain's just going to feed these things to your body, and it's going to continue to make you sick. So the first step is fighting the mental game. The second thing I would say is understand what form of Crohn's or colitis that you have and how to attack it, because not not every Crohn's and colitis is the same. How it affects one person is going to be different than how it affects another. And the sooner you figure out how it affects you, the better chance you have at aggressively attacking it. Um, and then the third thing is lean on your support group. Explain to the people that are in your circle that love you and care about you how they can help you, because they care about you and they want you to be better, but they don't understand how to help you out. And the sooner you explain to them how they can help you out and be of service to you, the easier life will be. And those are probably the three things that, I've learned over my journey, and that I would explain to anybody going through this right now.
I couldn't have said it any better, Mark. What a beautiful way to close out the show. I really appreciate it. So thank you again. It looks like we have another comment. Here we do. From Myra Washington. I'm so proud of you, Mark. I know how much you've been through these past 20 years. Very
That's my
nice.
mom right there. She was
Yay, Mom.
yeah, yeah, she was by my side the whole time.
Oh, that's beautiful. I look
Up,
forward to
down.
meeting your
Yeah,
family during the event. That's beautiful.
yeah.
We should
Yep,
have
they're gonna
Mom
be
on here
there.
too to give her thoughts and feelings. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was just
it's
gonna
hard
say
to
it'd be good for
watch your
that.
child. Yeah, so your mom's
Absolutely.
welcome. You and your mom can come back and be on another show. That would be great.
That would be awesome. I think it's good to hear a supporter's perspective, because, they wanna know how to be there and how to, take care of their loved one.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Mark, for being here. I'm just going to close out the show by highlighting this flyer, and I look forward to being in touch with you soon.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Thanks. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to share this flyer. This is the Crohn's Colitis Foundation Take Steps Journey to Mount Remission, June 25th, 2023. I already shared with you that it's at Lincoln Financial Field. There's all kinds of music, and you're able to not only walk around the stadium itself, you're able to walk onto the field, and hopefully we will have great weather. Last year, the weather was horrific. We had everything set up. We were broadcasting, and the wind was whipping, and the rain was pouring. And all of a sudden, the sun came out and the day was saved. So whatever the weather is, it will be beautiful in our hearts because we are there for a much bigger cause. And I hope that you will join us. You have Mark's information. I also have a team. Please give to Mark's team before you give to mine, or give to both of our teams. And here's Mark's information again. His name of his team is MCW Warriors. And the link is there in the comments if you're interested, and just click on it. And my team is Dr. Jacalyn's Colitis Crew, so you can join our team or donate as well. And thank you again to everyone at the Crohn's Colitis Foundation. Thank you to Dr. Neil Nandi. He's amazing. And I have to say thank you to Dr. Weintraub, who's my doctor, and also Dr. Gary Lichtenstein. I really appreciate it, what you've done for me all these years. So we will say goodbye for now, and please do go over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and subscribe. We have between 25 and 30 live shows every week. If you'd like to be a guest on this show or any of our shows, go to our website, which is, surprisingly, you got it, usaglobaltv.com. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Mark. Thanks to Mark's family, and we will be back again tomorrow. Take care.